All right. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back again to my channel, to my Real Talk series, where we're gonna talk everything about, lifestyle, anything about self-improvement, things like that. So today I want to talk a little bit about, this is a really intriguing and interesting topic for me because I just read an article earlier today and I thought this would be worth to share. So I really want to talk about identity shifting, or how you can reinvent yourself to be your true self, so to say, and you can literally become anything or anyone you wish to be. It doesn't matter who you are. You can always become whoever you want it to be. All right. Now, without further ado, I'm going to dig right into it. So, what is it? What is identity shifting, you might ask? All right. So, identity shifting is more about shedding your old self to make way for the new you to emerge. All right. So a lot of people, sometimes they are being held back by their own expectations or by their own shadow, their own perceptions of who they are in the first place. The first thing that you need to understand, about identity shifting is that a lot of people, they're gonna go through like plastic surgery, for example, right? They wanna appear better. So the surgery is going to fix your external self, like your appearance, or like your external appearance in a way. So sometimes it works for a few people, because sometimes a lot of people are not confident in themselves. Maybe they think like, my eyes aren't that beautiful, or like maybe my nose are too big, my hands are too small, too skinny, my body is too big, things like that. So the first thing that you need to do is to reinvent your external self, your appearances. That's gonna help you to, I would say, that's gonna help you to get you to that right mindset. All right, because the first thing that people are gonna look at is your appearance, no matter what. I'm sorry to say, but people are gonna keep judging the book by its cover. So that's how people judge each other, from their appearances. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna bullshit in my Real Talk series. That's why I call it Real Talk, because I'm just gonna bear myself here. I'm gonna do it raw, no holding back, no sugarcoating or anything. So yeah, again, the first thing that people are gonna notice from you is your appearance. So you have to dress the best, you have to appear the best, you have to look the best in order for people to actually look at you, or like pay attention to you, or even respect you in that sense, if you know what I mean, right? But sometimes, no matter what, for people who already improve their outer self, their external shell, somehow deep down inside, they're still internally they feel awful, because they think they don't deserve it. They think they're still ugly inside, no matter what. They're the ugly duckling, for example. They are the black sheep, and they might have that internal validation in their mind that keeps telling them that they are not worthy of love, or they are not worthy of attention. So that's the most dangerous thing, because if you have that belief inside of you, no matter how much you change your appearances, no matter how many sports car you bought, like how many women you have, girls or things like that, it's still not going to make you confident, because confidence comes from within, from inside of you, not from external things. No matter how many cool watches you have or big houses, if you are still feeling ugly inside, it won't help you. All right. So there is this saying that a goldfish in a small bowl will grow the size of its bowl, but if you put that goldfish in a bigger bowl, or like in a bigger tank, it will always follow the size of that tank. All right. So it's the same with humans. Sometimes It's our own belief system that limits us from achieving what we are meant to be, what we are supposed to be. If you are thinking small, then you will always get held back, and you will always be in that cage, in that belief that you are only a small fish. But if you believe that you are destined for more, if you believe that you are meant to do bigger things, so this metaphor goes both ways. If you are put in a bigger bowl or ocean, you will grow as big as that ocean, as big as that fish tank. So yeah, maybe that limitation was set by your family, by society, by your teacher, school, or whatever that is when you're growing up. So you have that belief in your mind subconsciously because you've been dictated to think that way from early age. And becoming someone new, it's gonna be impossible for you. All right, what we're projecting into the world is not ourselves, but it's more about finding out who you are inside. And identity shedding is more about not changing who you are, not like you're gonna become someone else, but it's more about bringing that core out more. So bringing who you truly are, who you are deep inside. And it's gonna help to boost the confidence because you are not hiding who you are anymore. It's not the false you that you put out to the world for people to see. It's not someone that you mimic, or not someone that you pretend to be while inside you are someone else. That's the root cause of all problems, of all depressions, of all like heartaches and things like that. It's because I know this because I've done this before. Like, you are projecting something that you are not. But if you can be true to yourself, you can find who you are and you can bring that core out, then I'm pretty sure you're gonna be much happier and you're gonna be much more confident because that's just who you are and you're not pretending anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a hero journey for me. Imagine yourself in a movie, right? Imagine yourself as the hero in a movie. Of course, if you are the hero, you gonna go through a lot of this act. People say it's act. So in a book that I read, so in this book, The Anatomy of Story by John Truby, I've read this book, and because I'm a filmmaker, so I need to understand how they create stories and all that. So the hero book, you always have the first act, the second act, and the third act, right? So the beginning, the middle, and the end. And of course, the beginning is always the first act. It's always the first call to the adventure. Imagine that you are just somebody who enjoys everyday life, and then all of a sudden, like Gandalf shows up in your house, in front of your door, and he calls you for an adventure. He calls you to bring this ring to Mordor, right? To be Reforged, or let's say Neo in the Matrix. He just doing his own life, doing his everyday life, working 9-to-5 jobs, when all of a sudden he received a call from an Agent Smith, and he was forced to go through that adventure. And whether the hero is gonna answer that call or not, it ultimately gonna depends on you, whether you're going to answer that call or not. If you answer that call, then you're gonna be on for a journey, just like in the movie, right? So I kept telling you, just imagine yourself in the movie. If you refuse the call, it means like you are stepping back into your comfort zone, because I'm more comfortable this way. I don't want to change. I don't want to do all this hard work or like do all these things to make me better because this is comfortable for me. If the hero wants to step out of their comfort zone, they're gonna answer that call and they're going to say, yes, I'm going to change. I'm going to do everything that's required to be the best version of me. Or if not, they're gonna be pulled back by their own comfort zones, and because it's more comfortable for them, it's more familiar for them, and that's what makes people predominantly stuck in their life, because they don't want to answer that call and they just want to be pulled back into their comfort zone because it's just cozier, it's just much nicer, right? But I would say a negative emotion is a call of action. Whenever you feel like you burned out, whenever you feel tired, or even when you feel depressed, that's your call for action, basically. It's the same with me. Last year I felt this way because I feel like I can do more, but I didn't do anything. I refused to do anything, and that's why I was held back by my own perception, by my own limitation, because I don't want to do it. And if you don't do it, then you will never gonna change, right? So you have to answer that call. That's the first step if you want to change. And what's the second one? If you can do your research, when I was starting out, when I was trying to start out as a YouTuber, I watch a lot of YouTube, I watch a lot of podcasts and things like that. And it always amazed me how people like Joe Rogan, for example, how people like Gary Vee or Cassie Neistat. Again, I kept mentioning those names because those people are the one that is very influential in my decisions to become a YouTuber, because I gained a lot of insight from them. I really admire them, the way they think, their lifestyle, and the way they live life really spoke into me, and I really want to become like them. So again, I always held back by my own limitation. I'm afraid that my skill level wasn't as good as they are. I don't even know how to shoot a YouTube video, for example, or talking in front of camera like this. I don't even have the equipment that I needed to record the first YouTube video. So that's what sets me back, because I have that limitation in my head that I cannot do it. What if people gonna judge me? What if what my family gonna think? What people gonna think? What if they don't like it? What if I'm gonna embarrass myself and things like that? So that's my own limitation. That's my own shadow. And at some point, you just have to shed that. You have to get rid of that shadow. You have to just act. And a lot of people, they always have the same excuse. They're thinking like, I'm too old, I'm not that young anymore. That's the young man's game. Or maybe I feel like the ship has sailed, like there's no opportunity for me anymore because I'm too old, or like I'm too late to the game, and things like that. That's your own belief. That's what assumption that you make in your head, whereas the reality aren't like that at all. I mean, again, the power of manifestation. Whatever you think, you believe. So I destroy that mindset, and a new mindset emerged out of it. I just say, screw it, just like that. The art of not giving a fuck. You just screw everything and just start. The first thing you need to understand is you have to be aware. You have to be aware what's holding you back. And once you start understand it, once you start to find what's holding you back, then you can act on it one by one. And it's not like one and done self-improvement where you feel like, hey, if I can just do this one thing and I don't have to do it anymore. It's probably the same like exercise. Whenever I feel like, hey, I need to make myself better, I need to lose some weight, you can't just go to the gym once and that's it. You're not gonna change much, because what it's gonna do if you only go once and that's it? You have to keep that momentum, you have to keep that discipline. That's ultimately going to change who you are, because when you look at the mirror, it's always like constant struggle, it's always like constant improvement every single day, and someday the mirror gonna reflect back to you what you already put out, the hard work that you already done, and things like that. The mirror will never betray you. So it's the same with content creation or becoming a YouTuber. You cannot just do one video and that's it. You have to keep constantly finding new ideas, finding new topics to talk about and things like that. But luckily for me, I have a lot of topics that I want to talk about that was already in my head from a long time ago, and I'm just pouring it out right now for you guys to listen. But yeah, as I said, the hero journey is not going to be that easy. There's going to be a lot of obstacles along the way, and there's going to be a lot of dangerous things along your journey. There's going to be a lot of people who wants to stop you, want to help you back, things like that. So, but without those challenges, the movie would be pretty boring, right? The movie would be pretty terrible to watch, because who want to watch a movie where the hero is just gonna get whatever they wanted, out of the blue? You probably don't want to watch that movie. So the movie have to be interesting. It's the same like our lives, the movie our life needs to have that first act, middle act, and the last act. The middle act is going to be full of twists and turns, going to be full of obstacles, going to full of something that will test your might, or like test your philosophy, test your strength. If you can achieve the ending, if you can achieve that happy ending at the end. So that's the point of the middle part, that's the point of the obstacles and the danger that you're about to face. And if you came out victorious, if you can overcome those obstacles, then that's going to make a very interesting movie, don't you think? It's the same like your life. It's going to make a pretty interesting life, don't you think? So yeah, there you go. It's all about reconfirming every day that you can change, that you will become who you are, that who you are meant to be, who you say you want to be. And it will be uncomfortable at first, because shedding your old self is never easy, because you have to kill that part of you. Metaphorically speaking, you have to kill that part of you for the new you to emerge, for the new you to actually, it's not about new you, but it's more about like snake shedding its skin. You will get rid of your old mindset, and a new you, like the true you, is gonna come out. Another thing I think that's really important is to stack your wins. Not a lot of people do this, but stacking wins means that you have to keep track of whatever that you're doing to keep you accountable, right? So the more you stack that wins, the more you're going to override the old you, or like override the past you. It's just like YouTube. The more you film, the more you shoot. Let's say you bought the equipment, that's a win. You shoot the first video, that's a win. You brave yourself in front of the camera, that's another win. So you have to keep stacking that wins to get that evidence that you actually override the excuse. It's the same like working out. You have to document that thing, what you do today, what you did in the past, how you get better, because ultimately that little wins is what's going to set you way apart from who you are. Because 1% improvement every day is better than doing nothing at all, better than not improving at all. So even if it's just small change, 1%, it will change your whole life apart. So yeah, keep that in mind, you know. And then it's always possible, just like me, it's always possible for me to bounce back from who I am before, from my depressed self into this, you know, new me that is more happier, that is more stronger, have a clearer mindset, that no procrastinating anymore, have like a really laser focused mind on, you know, whatever it is you're trying to set and trying to chase, following your dreams and all that stuff. So yeah, it's really possible, and it ultimately depends on you whether you want to take that call or not. All right, so with that message, I'm gonna end this video tonight, and thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as usual, and I hope this video is pretty informational for you guys, and hopefully it will benefit you in a way. And I'll see you guys again in the next one. All right, so with that, I'll say good night and bye-bye.